Good morning, everybody. Mantra for Change and Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Residential Education Institution Society welcomes you to the second edition of Innovation Awards. I'm Dhyanesh and I have Vinay with me, and we'll be your host for this event.
Namaskaram andariki.
Before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank every one of you for being here. Secretary, Principal Secretary, representatives from Andhra Pradesh Education Society, school leaders, teachers, judges, panelists, fellows, and all the supporters from Team Mantra. We also have the CMET Director, Sri Mastanaya Sir, join us today. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. All of us who have gathered here together have one thing in common. We want to ensure that every child gets a quality education, and innovation plays a major role in it. When the pandemic began and when the schools were closed, we were unsure of whether we would be able to have the Micro Innovation Award during these times. But the crisis seems to have made us better innovators, and there were some wonderful innovations which could not go unnoticed. We all came together and made it possible. So here we are to celebrate innovations.
Before we move on to begin the event, a couple of chinna announcements like always that I do. So you can use the chat box right here. This particular event is also live on YouTube. So YouTube lo connect an audience, you can use live chat option there. Whatever responses that you would be posting it there, we'll be taking it forward from there. It's a 2 hours event cover time. Hoping all of you do have a water bottle right next to you, so that you are hydrated and you're also seated in a comfortable place. Okay, so you can, okay, if you're not talking, please do mute. Thank you. Okay, so Mantra for Change has been working very close with the society in the past 5 months. These 5 months have been really amazing, and we have accumulated a lot of memories, learning, and experiences. Now, I would like to invite Anjali to share more about this journey.
Thank you, Vinay. Before we talk about the innovations we will be celebrating today, I would like to give everyone who is with us today a glimpse into the last 4 months of our engagement with the Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Department. The journey with AP Swaris has been a unique experience because it was about embracing change, empowering leadership, and energizing the system. Embracing change. In July, when we began the journey, the sheer resilience of the society was evident to us. When the world came to a standstill, the teachers and school leaders of the society could not be stopped. We saw them engage with the learning processes of our capacity building sessions with such vigor and take on projects to implement with even more energy. Empowering leadership. Everyone in the society has shown innate leadership skills, which is kudos to the leadership of both the secretaries. We have seen a more than overwhelming response to our efforts to create a community of change leaders on a voluntary basis. These facilitators play a key role in the capacity building initiatives of the entire society. Energizing the system. AP Swaris has shown what a community is capable of. Here we have seen many examples of stakeholders working together towards the common purpose. The strength of the department is in its ability to come together and act with willfulness as a system. No initiative is complete without the support of the head office, the school leaders, the teaching cadre, the IT champions, and other support staff. Let's watch a short video that captures this more than extraordinary journey.
In this training, I learned many new strategies for effective teaching, and I learned I do, we do, you do method of teaching. I saw, I feel, I wonder strategy methods. In this way, I learned so many new things with the help of Mantra team. That's why I'm very thankful to Mantra team for giving such a great training. Thank you.
Got to learn a lot. Being facilitator helped me to develop my abilities and skills. It was like action-packed experience. Always, I used to hold my thoughts to do something better for the team. Through this program, I learned how to engage and manage a group of people, which in turn would definitely help me to manage my classrooms and have joyful atmosphere over there. I also learned how important is the timely approach for doing everything. There may be a lot of challenges doing this facilitation process, like working for a long time, usage of technology which is new to me, etc. But I would definitely say I'm very happy and feel very privileged to be a part of this program, as I got to learn a lot of new things from very energetic and talented group of people, the Mantra team. Thanks to Mantra team. Thanks.
Hope all of you enjoyed the video. This journey has given us many moments to treasure, and the micro innovations competition has been the cherry on top. We are looking forward to the announcement of the winners. We cannot wait to see how this will trigger more innovations and improvements within the system of change makers.
Thank you, Anjali, for this quick flashback. The engagement of Epispheres and Mantra has definitely been so successful and fruitful. We are really looking forward to have a long run ahead. Thank you so much for this.
Today, we are fortunate enough to have Manoj Maheshwari sir with us. Mr. Manoj Maheshwari is the chairman of Maheshwari Investors Private Limited, as well as an active angel investor and venture capitalist. He is on the board of directors of a number of public and private companies and brings in a judicious mix of entrepreneurial and professional skills to the various boards that he serves on. I now request Manoj Maheshwari sir to give the keynote address on celebrating innovation. Excuse me, sir, I think you're on mute.
Thank you. When Santosh first asked me to speak on this, I asked him why me. I don't think I am exactly qualified to be the best speaker on innovation. I have never invented anything in my life. But he was very insistent. So I did agree, because I do think a lot on innovation. Normally, when we say the word innovation, more often than not, all of us freeze. It seems so difficult. We need to change our routine. We need to change our set patterns. We need to think in different ways. In short, we need to get out of our comfort zones. Innovations for most of us brings to mind people like Newton, Einstein, Ramanujan, all giants and geniuses. We as intelligent but relatively ordinary people automatically start believing that we should follow the norms and we cannot be change makers. But I believe we are wrong. Being human means to constantly evolve. For millennia, the world has constantly evolved and changed, and the most rapidly evolving and changing species is the human race. Think, if our ancestors who had just gone from ape to human had not been curious, They had not started wandering the world. They had not invented fire when they rubbed two stones together. They did not start cropping. The human race would not have been here today. The fact is, it is famously said that change is the only constant in the world. So if nature itself dictates that we constantly change, why are we so scared to experiment, to innovate? I believe it is because of centuries of enforced norms, including the colonialism which our country faced, that has dictated that people should only conform and change is only the prerogative of the powerful and the geniuses. But I don't think that is true. Today we can share. We are connected to the whole world. We are connected to each other. We have the power to make overall changes, small changes to ourselves and to the environment around us. We may not impact the world like an Edison did with his light bulb, but we can make a difference. We can micro innovate. And nothing in my mind needs innovation more than the education system. The education system, not just the public education system in India or even the education system in India, but the education system worldwide. Our education system across the world has been stuck in the last 40 to 50 years, maybe more, in learning by rote. And today, there is a lot of understanding that that is not the way of the future. I know systemic change is a very difficult challenge, but innovation does not need to be major changes. Micro innovation can lead to systemic changes. But we cannot just go off in different directions and tangents all by ourselves. We need a lot of feedback. We need the system to understand what we are doing. We need to put some structure. Because ultimately, education is structure. We really need to understand our communities in which we work, the requirements of those communities, the requirements of the students, the requirements of each individual, and we need to make changes to impact the knowledge and development. After all, we need to remember that our future is in the hands of today's students, and their future is in all your hands. So I beseech you, change, innovate, stretch, use your innate sense and being. After all, that is what humanity is about. It shows us that we need to think and we need to change. And I would like to end with just one thing. The definition of the word guru is the one who shows us the path to be our true selves. Each one of you is a guru. So innovate and encourage your Shishyas to find their true selves and their full potential. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was wonderfully articulated. Change is the only constant, as you said. And I can completely agree with you. Each one of us can make a difference and each one of us can micro-innovate. I'm sure all of us are incredibly enriched listening to your thoughts. Thank you once again, sir. Now, we will move on to the next part of the ceremony, which is a panel discussion on supporting innovations.
Yes. So with us today, we have Kumar Anurag Pratap, Head of CSR Wing of Capgemini, and Nirmala Guru Prasad, Head of Wells Fargo India. Mr. Kumar Anurag Pratap heads CSR wing of Capgemini. Under his leadership, it reaches out close to 1.9 million people through interventions in education, employability, and environment. He's credited with initiating innovative projects like Capgemini Girls Health Sponsorship Project, Leap Skilling Academy, Capgemini School Adoption Projects, among others. Anurag brings with him over 20 years of diversified experience in CSR, community development, project management, capacity planning, and has extensively worked with grassroots level organizations and donor agencies in this country.
Ms. Nirupama Guruprasad is the Chief Administrative Officer at Wells Fargo, India, and heads governance functions across India and Manila. She is a finance, banking, and strategy professional with over 20 years of experience in business, risk, operations, technology, and strategy functions. In the course of her 20 plus years at Wells Fargo, she has contributed to new and diverse roles to manage relationships across a cross section of stakeholders, to manage large teams, mentor senior professionals, and have a strategic understanding of technology to enable business, governance, and risk management.
In addition to our panelists, with us we also have Ms. Kritika Radhakrishnan, who will be moderator of this discussion. Ms. Kritika Radhakrishnan is COO of NetApp Asia Pacific. Based out of Singapore, she had strategy and business operations. Prior to this, she has held various finance roles in NetApp for the past 15 years. A CA by profession, Kritika ma'am has worked at Sun Microsystems and StorageStrek, garnering years of experiences working with technology companies.
We will be starting the panel discussion in a moment. If you have any questions, please feel free to type it out on the chat box if you're joining us through Zoom, or if you have joined us through YouTube, you can type it on the comment section as well. We will take all the questions at the end of the discussion. I now request Kritika ma'am to take it forward from here.
Thank you. Hi, I'm here. Can you start my video? Somebody stop my video. I can't start the video. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited, absolutely excited to be part of this event. We are all gathered here today in the spirit of innovation to celebrate the fact that an idea, big or small, go a long way in improving the quality of our environment, be it a school, be it a classroom, be it an organization, it doesn't matter. We need to innovate. And we see innovation everywhere, right? And because of our innate need to improve and constantly transform, this has become an imperative to innovate. Every organization brings with it different sets of problems and challenges with it, and also solutions which often go unnoticed at the macro level. There's a huge opportunity and a space for us to therefore design the innovation and document them for the larger community to use. This is especially true in the times that we find ourselves in. The pandemic has amplified our need and vigor to innovate even more so than ever. How do we therefore instill in ourselves the need to retain a culture that encourages and fosters innovation? I would like to welcome all of you to the panel discussion, Supporting Innovation. We are joined by two very distinguished leaders, Mr. Anurag Pratap, who is the head of corporate social responsibility at Capgemini, and Ms. Nirupama Guruprasad, the Chief Administrative Officer of Wells Fargo. Hello to both of you, and I'm very humbled to be here moderating this panel with you both. I would like to just give a bit of a notification again to the audience. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this panel. So if you have questions that are posted on Zoom, you can do it via the Q&A tab. And if you have questions on your YouTube live link, please put it into the chat box. With that, I would like to first ask my question to Mr. Anurag. When we talk about the context of India, we are reminded of the size, scale, complexity of this country that stems from its diversity. Encouraging innovation, therefore, at the micro level is an imperative. It's no longer a nice to have, it's a must have, Mr. Anurag. So what, according to you, drives this need for micro innovation, and how long do you think these efforts go in ensuring quality for your work and also for your beneficiaries?
Kritika, I think Anurag is just joining in. There's some issue with the connection.
Sure.
Could you start with Nirupama maybe?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Nirupama.
Hi, Kritika.
So
Nice to
you
meet
are-
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. You've been a leader with several years of experience in Wells Fargo, and you've, I'm sure, led variety of teams. In all your years of experience at Wells Fargo, what has worked well for you, do you think, while facilitating continuous innovation in your environment?
Yeah, thank you, Kritika. And I must say that, I echo a little bit of what Mr. Manoj Maheshwari said, before just joining, and also what Anjali had also put together very beautifully. So first of all, thank you everybody for having me here. I'm really humbled to be here, Kritika. And, I know you said you're humbled to be moderating the panel, but for me, I think education is probably the noblest of professions. And, trying to, speak to a lot of educationists and people who are in that sector is a privilege for me, because, I really believe they create the leaders of the future. They really make the difference that we all try to do in so many ways in our organizations, and in much more, I would say, grosser ways, but they are, so much more subtle in the way they influence. And, so my appreciation for all the educationists, and especially so in these times, when all of us are scrambling, it's one thing to actually, sit at home and do corporate work, but it's another thing to be able to influence young minds and to be able to direct young minds in this kind of environment. And I, being a parent and seeing my kids get that benefit from how the teachers have innovated, how they have grown during this period, I only feel gratitude for all the educationists on all that they have done. So with that, I will share whatever little bit that I have gained over my journey. But again, I salute all the educationists, especially during this period. I always did, but especially during this period, for the kind of effort and transformation they have brought into education. So thank you, everybody. So, just to get to your question, Kritika, as leaders, what is it that we can do? And, and I would say we don't have all the answers. Okay. So everybody is trying to figure out, this innovation, the transformation that we need to bring into each of our businesses because of what is happening in the environment. Not only today, but, for corporates and for industries, it's a continuous kind of a problem,
Journey.
I would say, or a good problem. You keep seeing upstarts, and in banking industry where I am, where I have always been, actually, I have seen so much transformation in the 25 years I have been in this industry. And what I have realized is some of the things that we have learned as leaders is, one is, think of ourselves as facilitators. Let's be very clear, and I'm not being modest, but typically innovation doesn't come from leaders. Okay, because we are all so preoccupied in running routine and meeting all the goals that we've set for ourselves, including innovation. But innovation doesn't come from here. Okay, innovation really comes from rank and file. Innovation comes from the people who are actually there doing the job. They know what the problems are and what could be the solutions that would come. So as leaders, I think the first thing to kind of orient ourselves is to be facilitators. And to be facilitators, we really need a few things that we need to do in our approach. So first thing to be a facilitator is to encourage open discussion. So leaders need to, kind of have an open mind, encourage open discussion so that they're able to get that kind of feedback, which can then be directed, that leaders can do. They can facilitate and direct the ideas that come from the ground level. But to be able to do that, we should be people who are open, and who welcome that kind of discussion. The second bit is listening. I think, as leaders, and more, research has shown that, it's important to be good listeners. And more so than anything, for innovation, listening is a very, very important part of it. So, that's the second bit that I would say. And the third bit, which is very close to my heart, Kritika, is, I really believe this entire diversity and inclusion that we talk about, right? It's a big thing today in the corporate world and all over the world, where we say we need diverse workforce, we need an inclusive environment. I don't believe these are all for check marks or for charity. I sincerely believe it is for strategic importance, exactly for this. See, innovation comes when you have diverse thoughts. See, if you have the same kind of thoughts, same set of people sitting and making the same set of decisions, you will never get anything creative. So, I believe leaders have to foster, that environment which encourages diverse set of people who come in and who are able to contribute to the innovation piece. So these are some key, themes that I can, think about. But of course, I really liked what Anjali mentioned. She spoke about these three things, embracing change, empowering leaders, and energizing. And all that actually fits in. Because, once you get that diverse workforce, you're listening, you are having an open mind, you're trying to do that. As leaders and as people who've been in the industry for so long, the typical tendency is, no, this may not work. But that ability to be open, embrace change, allow those ideas to come in, and then allow them to be experimented on, and then maybe fail, but something would come out of it. You learn lessons and you reinvent. Then this entire thing about empowering, empowering that rank and file, to say that, look, go ahead and do this, and we are there. We are there to support you. And energizing, of course, and which I think only comes when leaders are able to inspire and give that sense of purpose in whatever they are doing. So I believe these are the kind of, ideal things that leaders should do. Tall orders, but I think we all, in our own ways are trying to embrace some of these things. And these are some of the things that I wanted to share that I thought leaders should look at when
Nirupama,
they look at innovation.
extremely well articulated. I totally echo and agree with you. Being in the corporate world myself, I think encouraging open discussions and listening, as you said. Also, diversity and inclusion, which is a very important topic you touched on, which is very, very close to my heart, right? When, especially in the case of micro innovations, you might have some older person in your team, you might have a disabled person in your team, you might have a woman leader in your team, right? Listening to all of these different perspectives and bringing them in, not dismissing any idea as a stupid idea. That's what fosters the innovation, and very well articulated. Thank you for that. And with that, I think we have Anurag back on video and voice. Thank you, Anurag, for joining us today.
Thank you, Jess.
I was about to ask you a question as we started this panel. We said when you talk about the context of India, right? We are reminded of the scale, size, complexity of this country that stems from its diversity. We talked about diversity and, India being such a diverse culture. How do we encourage innovations at the micro level? Encouraging innovations at the micro level is so crucial. It's not a nice to have, it's a must have, therefore. What, according to you, drives this need for micro innovation, and how long do you think these efforts go in ensuring quality for your work and for your beneficiaries?
Thank you, Kritika. But this is one of the webinar which started a bit early than what it was supposed to start on.
I know.
In the sense, I was caught in the wrong foot.
We all got surprised.
Yeah, I was trying to log in, and then I got a call saying I was trying to be there early, thinking that I'll surprise people by saying that, hey, I came early. But then I got surprised by getting a call saying that, why don't you log in there because the panel is going to start.
Yeah.
So apologies for not being there when you started the whole thing, and this is a good one to start a bit early in that particular sense. Coming to a question, I strongly feel two, three things that is important, and what we try to do within our own setup is that allow people to make mistakes, allow people to fail, because I always tell people that when you do something new, only two things is going to happen: either you will succeed or you will learn. So allow them to do that particular thing, because the moment you put them on those set of KPIs and set of goals that you have decided beforehand to say that, hey, you need to achieve all these things, no one is going to try something new there. Third is that allow them to what is called chart their own or leave their own footprints rather than asking them to follow someone else's footprints. These are some of the mistakes that we do usually in our own setup, where there is intense pressure to succeed, intense pressure to what is called do those tick marks on everything that we decided at the start of the year that we'll be doing. We tend to do those mistakes, but I'm in the sense fortunate that I work with more than 26 NGO partners, and these are those guys who have challenged us continuously. They kept me on toes all the time, and I feel very happy when I share this that out of everything that we do at Capgemini in the CSI space, 65% of the thing came because my NGOs challenged me to do those things. They said that why you are not doing all these things, and they, in the sense, re-altered the whole design of my CSR in that particular sense. So and that, in the sense, being flexible, being ready to what is called listen to some of those ideas which are coming to the field, makes you ready to accept that what you decided beforehand may not be the right thing to do. There may be some other realities, some other aspirations, some other thoughts which may, in the sense, sharpen the work that one is doing. And that's what has happened in the field also. For example, when COVID happened and we realized that there is nothing that the kids of government school can do to access online classes. Our kids were very happy doing the online classes, whether they were happy or not, but we forced them to do that particular thing. And along with them, we were also doing attending those online classes because we wanted them to attend those, and we used to sit there and be there with them. But what we realized that it was really difficult to get the government school kids to do that because they were not having smartphones, they were not having desktop, tabs, laptops that our kids are having. And that was the situation when there was no feet on the street, I call it, because everyone was talking about social distancing, everyone was talking about be at home, don't venture out. At the same time, there was the issue of making sure the kids continue with their studies, and that's where we said that. And one of the NGOs came to me saying that, hey, Anurag, being an IT company, can you all donate some used laptops and computers? And we wish to start a community learning center in the slums itself, from where these kids are coming from. And with 5, 6 computers in each of these community center blocks that we started with the proper social distancing and all, they started running those online classes, and it was an instant hit because suddenly kids realized that there is an opportunity for them to access learning, access content, access some of the bit that they were doing. Imagine government school kids through WebEx platform, through Zoom, through the Google Meet, Hangouts. They were showcasing their STEM projects to all of us. They participated in, for the first time, online digital summer camp, which they all joined in. And these kids were from 9 different locations: Pichi, Salem, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Pune, Calcutta, NCR. And it was, I'll say that these were the enthusiasm of those kids made us realize that, hey, what we are doing is very limited. We need to broaden the envelope and add some more bit there. And these kids were talking about doing Scratch programming. These kids were doing work on Raspberry Pi. These kids were submitting proposals on Arduinos, and they were articulating those projects on the screen and telling people that this is how they have done it. So it's like are you willing to what is called, do you facilitate a space where you allow partners to what is called get into something which is new, allow them where they may what is called may not succeed, but they'll learn a hell lot of things after that particular experiment. That's what we did. There are a number of things. For example, the skilling work that we were doing, we went on to complete digital format. And what we realized that, and Kritika, it surprised me because we are performing much better than the brick and mortar centers that we were doing earlier. Because suddenly the access to these content became, I'll say, very empowering for youth with disability, women who were finding it very difficult to go out and be in the center for around 6-7 hours or so. From other marginalized sections, they just hooked to it. And the only thing that we were supposed to do was, and we did that, was to break the module in a smaller part rather than run a 4-hour or 3-hour digital program, because no one is going to sit there for 3 hours continuously on system. Third, what has happened in India is that data has become cheaper now, and there are smartphones which are becoming cheaper. So that's another area which has helped us. Fourth, we brought in a huge amount of, we worked with, we used to do before COVID, I'll say, asset donation campaign, where the employees used to bring in asset to the office and drop in there in our Dropbox there, and which used to, after cleaning, doing proper repair and all, we used to take it to the communities. But this time we realized that they can't come to the office. We can't go to their home because it will be, we are supposed to maintain those social distancing, and we are supposed to maintain, restrict our movement. We worked with a logistic company. They went into these homes, collected the assets, brought in there, we distributed to the kids. And some of these things where we realize that we are saving in some other places, can we bring in that particular money to use it in areas to do those, I'll say, very micro innovation. I don't call it something which is going to be path-breaking for journals and for seminars and workshop where we are not going to write up, I'll say, academic paper on this, but these are changing the life of kids and youth who are part of the work that we are doing. Fifth, what has happened to our my team and my NGO partners is that they started looking at solutions which are not part of the textbook, which is not part of something which was done earlier. Because COVID, in the sense, opened a new space altogether. No one had any experience of this particular stuff. So anything that we did, the aim was that it's going to, and we were ready to what is called accept that hey, it didn't succeed. And I always tell them that no matter whether you succeed or not, you learn something. This is one particular thing that I feel very happy that in the last few years that has happened in the NGO sector also, and I'm very happy when Nirupma was talking and I was listening to her, that there is a growing acceptance that whatever money that we are going to put in, we are not going to get impact worth all the money that we are investing there. There will be certain areas, or there will be certain projects which will not click the way we wanted them to click. There is a readiness at the leadership level to accept that the newer thing will have their own gestation period. You need to have patience to understand that. And there is a huge amount of work that's happening, and I give credit to social enterprises, I give credit to NGOs, I give credit to even government and very state government and the central government, the various corporate who are creating incubators where some of these innovations are getting a space to what is called flourish and get scaled up. We work with IIM Bangalore also to facilitate or to support some of the social enterprises. We'll be launching our. We did one round where we are supporting 4 of them for scale-up funding. Now we'll be launching next month the Idea Challenge round, where we'll encourage people to ideate and bring in ideas which can get support to create the POCs. So there is a huge space, very exciting space for innovation. Some of them are very micro. It may not get the headline of academic intellectuals, quote unquote, but they are transforming the life of people at the grassroots level. Yep.
Thank you, Anurag. I think you hit the nail on the head for many things. You talked about these being micro innovations. To me, they sound like phenomenal achievements, because if you talk about bringing ideas and creating a forum for people to come and ideate, and it's not easy to get those platforms or forums for people today. That's a huge thing. And there were some very key messages that I took away from your conversation. You said allow people to make mistakes. It's a very important aspect, right? You test, you iterate, you repeat. You test, you iterate, repeat. That's something that you do all your life, and that's how you learn from your mistakes, and then innovation automatically happens in those instances. And you said people should leave their own footprints. And with that, I just want to pass on to Nirupama with a question.
I'll just add one particular thing. I failed to mention one student. I remember in this March, before the whole lockdown started, one of my leaders visited one of the school at Bangalore. And we have a InnoSteam lab there, which is a kind of, I'll say, I call it NTCC on Atta Tinkering Lab. And one of the kid was showing her the robot that he has developed. So this leader asked this guy that, how many times you failed to create this? And he very confidently said that I failed 10 times. And the leader asked this student that, why did you continue? And his response, which was very profound, he said that I continued because I wanted to prove a point to all the other people in the world that government school kids can also make robots. And that is something that we all need to, all the CSR heads, all the corporate leaders need to encourage these kids to continue doing and start making a point to all the other individuals that give them an opportunity, they'll click much more, they'll do much better, because the hunger is intense there, unlike kids from our background.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. I mean, kudos to that kid. We all have to bow down to such children who bring about innovation. So Nirupama, over to you. I have another question for you. Your team runs a lot of education initiatives among many others, right? So when you look at, what do you think schools and the system can do more to encourage greater innovation and sharing among each other?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes, Wells Fargo does support a lot of schools, education in clusters, as part of our CSR initiatives. We have a lot of, volunteering that happens. So there are a few things that, maybe, and what I really liked is in the question, you said sharing between schools, and I think, this is now becoming more and more a mantra, not only in, sectors like education, but also in corporate sector, where, slowly, what we used to think of as individual kind of, enterprises, you realize how connected you are to the environment. One, it's a profound realization, I would say, and it's something that should have come much earlier, but it's coming now. So nowadays I think more emphasis is on co-creation, collaboration, learning from probably unrelated industries also, and that's where I'm leading to in schools also. While education and schools are probably one of those industries which are unique, but I think we thought banking was unique, honestly, till about 20 years back. We thought, we are the holy grail, but the environment has shown us that that is not the case, and I think there is merit, in educationists, looking beyond the education sector for innovation, and to that end, I really feel this, contribution and partnership with corporates, for example, uh, customer service kind of areas, those kind of areas, if there is more, contribution and collaboration, with them, then I think there is a lot of mind opening kind of ideas that could come to educationists to say, hey, you know what, this could work in our environment also. Why can't we use the telephone system, for example, the voice system, to be able to see how we can see the mobile, smartphone, video, all of it is there. But can we then look at chats? Can we look at this entire space on AI, ML? What is it that can be done in the education sector out there? And that's where I think partnering with industry leaders like Capgemini, or Anurag will talk about the technology companies, probably areas like even the service companies. I look at Wells Fargo as a service company and operations company, how to run your operations in a seamless manner. So really learning from related industries, or even sometimes unrelated industries. That's a lesson we have learned,
Totally.
that we never thought we would have lessons to learn from a service industry, but we are learning equally from Amazons and Ikeas, and who is not learning from them, but as well as our peers. So I think two things that you mentioned, the answer is in the question itself, the sharing bit. And I really think this power of co-creation, getting crowdsourcing ideas and trying to invest together to be able to make something that will benefit everybody. And in the education sector, I think it's very, very germane, and it's very ripe for it, because by definition it's not a very competitive kind of industry, so it is amenable to that kind of collaboration, and being open to learning from a variety of industries and not just from the silos that we have been looking at. And that's a lesson for us also, not just the education sector, but for all of us in the corporate world also. So these are some of the thoughts that I can bring up on this.
Thank you, Nirupama. I think I'm going to pose that question to Anurag as well. He runs as part of Capgemini, he runs a lot of education initiatives, and I'm going to repeat the question for you, Anurag, as to what do you think we can do more to encourage sharing and encourage greater innovation and sharing. You touched upon it a little bit when you talked about the students and the ideate ideas. So tell us some more.
The problem is there are three parts to this project question. One is collaboration within corporates. We have tried doing that particular thing, and I feel very happy to share that we worked with in the CSI space. We worked with 8 of the clients of ours. They are big corporates. We tried doing it with many more, but the whole tussle is on ego and logo. There's huge intense egos which comes into picture, and then the whole question of where my logo will be, which part of the screen, which part of the banner the logo will get positioned, which font, what color. So I leave these questions. The moment I get into intense debate on that, then I'm like, this is difficult to move ahead, because the moment you get on to these dimensions, it will be difficult to have a very free-flowing exchange of ideas which will happen. So that's on the corporate side. I work with 8 of them. Fabulous partnership. The collaboration is not just on principle or on the ideas, but collaboration is the financial also, which in the sense bring in the teeth that is needed there, and which also bring in the involvement of leadership and the employees there in that particular piece. So that's one work that has happened, and that has happened in a sense, and we are trying to also change or influence the larger ecosystem also to tell them that this is possible. We can be on the same side of the banner with the same color, same font, same size, without compromising on each other's identity in any way, and contribute tremendously in the success of some of the social interventions that happen. One. Second, on the NGO side, what we have done, and I was talking to some of the NGO partners who are working with us. They said that this is the first time that anyone is doing. For the last 4 years or so, we do a 3-day partnership development forum meeting, where all my NGO heads join in to offsite, where we spend 3 days to look at areas of change, areas of helping each other, areas of contributing with the strength of ours to some other organization. Also on reviewing each other's work to make sure that we are at par with any other agency. And the aim and intent is that can we build a more cohesive NGO service group which can service the larger population that we are working. The third, which is very vital for industry like mine, is where we have a huge number of employees who are young and restless, very innovative, creative. What we have tried doing is to create a digital marketplace for them, where they get an opportunity to see which are the volunteering areas or volunteering opportunities which exist for them, where they can bring in their expertise and knowledge there, and they come in groups. And I feel very happy when I share this is that we have more than 32% of our employee base who are hooked to the whole idea of CSR and working on creating a transformative world. When I say 32%, it number may not give you the right feel, but let me bring the absolute number. This talks about around 33,000 people who are part of the journey that's happening at Capgemini. So that gives you the scale in which this is being operated.
Huge. It's
Uh,
mind-boggling, those numbers.
and this number in the sense helped us reach from 14,000 beneficiary to 2 million beneficiary in last 6 years itself. So that's the jump that has happened just because we got the young restless employees who became part of the CSR journey at Capgemini to do some of these things. So that's the collaboration number 3. Fourth is, which is very exciting one, is to bring in the bilaterals, bring in the government, bring in the government agencies into the pool of work that's happening there to give the and allow everyone to bring in the best that they have there. Government brings in the scale. They have a huge scale and huge infrastructure. The NGOs, the corporate may have the operational effectiveness attached to them, but the scale you can't match it with government. And just imagine the moment you combine yourself with government scale and the infrastructure that they have, you can create magic there. And that's what is happening there. And fifth is tap the social entrepreneur, tap those mind who are looking at creating something new. And that's where the from the last 2 years we have started the journey of working with startups, working with social innovators, looking at creating an enabler for them, where we are not just giving them the fund, but we are also tagging them with one of our senior leaders who can work with them to ensure that from a strategy to the operational part to how they are marketing their product, how they are getting into new geographies, can help them what is called get on to or reach out to more and more people. And sixth is work with communities at the community level to honor, respect, appreciate, acknowledge, promote, facilitate innovation at that particular level. Some of the example, for example, a girl who realized that the rains are coming very frequently and her mother has to go out to keep the clothes away from the rain. So she used a sensor to come out with a device which can, in the sense, the moment the sensor will feel some water coming on it, it will bring all the clothes inside.
Oh, wow.
And the moment there is for half an hour, there is no water coming on that particular sensor, it will again take the whole clothes
I
out.
think we all need to buy one of those.
If you are putting that, and the only thing that the mother has to do that is that put that on that, put all the clothes on a hanger so that it becomes a lot more easier to just pull the whole thing inside.
Amazing. Amazing.
So and you need to honor and respect, acknowledge, promote, facilitate. These are the words that I always use it in our discourse. And when you start doing all these, magic is something that you will experience.
Magic happens.
Yeah.
So my key takeaway from you, Anurag, was tap into those young, restless minds, and you will have magic happen. Thank you. And last question for you, Nirupama, before we have the Q&A with the audience. We talked about continuing to foster education. How do we encourage its longevity and sustainability for the future? How do we continue this journey? And what do organizations need to keep in mind?
Yeah. I think that's really something that is worth thinking about. So I think, maybe it starts a little bit at the beginning, when we are innovating or when we are trying to find solutions or innovative solutions to areas that we are, having some issues with. So I think the first thing that we need to do is what we have realized in, when we do corporate innovation or even any other, place, I think it would be applicable, is to understand the whys very deeply. When I say whys, when I'm talking about WH to say, when we are saying this is the problem or this is the statement for which we are solving, to try and get to the root of it so that we get a solution that addresses the root of the problem. As much as possible, the deeper we go, the more sustainable typically a solution would be. So it's good to ask the 5 whys, and keep going down till we get to a point where we say, yes, this is the problem we really need to address and we need to solve for. And the second thing is really about trying to possibly making sure that we are addressing dependencies. I think many times innovations or innovative solutions, while it might address a particular portion of the problem or what we are trying to work for, if the associated dependencies are not addressed at the same time. For example, Anurag brought that up, very nicely in the initial part, which is a problem that we see with our own support staff. See, we are all keen that, after a point, we want to make sure that the community that we live in, is also thriving, and, the kids of that, the workers in the community are also able to, get the benefit of the right kind of education. This pandemic really, when everybody moved online, and Anurag hit the nail on the head, the problem was not, it was starting with even things like, even if I have a smartphone, I don't have internet connectivity. Will my data connectivity take care of it? So any solution that we look at, and that community learning, or that community center solution that Anurag did speak about, addressed a bit of it. You're taking it to the community, so your social distancing and all those, the bubble creation that you're doing in that area continues, and the kids are safe, but they come to a center where they are able to still participate in education and participate in the online education. And those are what I call the dependencies. Moving virtually, training teachers, all that, yes, Herculean task, teachers adapting to the new ways of teaching, but really going down to understanding the customer who is our student, and seeing what are the dependencies there, how do we address all of it. Those are the things that really make innovation sustainable, long term, meaningful, and they also enable thriving, which means that people build on top of it. Otherwise, it tends to fizzle out, which is something that we don't want. And the last thing is really about, and I think it's a message for all of us, corporates, and I heard Anurag say that, and I've taken it back. It's something I also feel very passionate about, where we say that let us contribute to the community what our strengths are. So it's nice to do normal social work, and when I say, and I am by no means belittling all that, but as a technology company, what is your strength? It is technology. How do you then use your strength to see what can be scalable innovation to the community, what can be meaningful innovation to the community? And if we all operate out of our strengths, we automatically will build more sustainable long-term solutions, because we are not there then competing with people who know how to get water to the villages, because we don't know that. While we can contribute, and we can monetarily contribute to experts who can do that, but the sustainable innovation, that leadership involvement, and that ability to feel that sense of fulfillment when you do something, automatically make sure that we have more long-term players in this, more people who are more deeply invested because they see the returns, and it's in line with all our strengths. So when I talk to my teams and talk about volunteering, I'm very keen my technology team volunteers to build those kind of apps and those kind of technology solutions which will help the community. The operations teams and the people who have more financial knowledge, go out there and see how microbanking can work, how can the community become self-sustaining. And those are the innovations I believe are there for the long term and will thrive, because they will grow with the organizations, they will grow with the leaders who are invested in it. So these are some of the things that and of course coming back to, being agile, being ready to adapt, and also looking at the dependencies, that we are creating in that innovation, making sure they are getting taken care of, could make sure that the innovations are, sustainable and, can probably last as long as we want them to.
Yeah, I think we should take this message and probably start hammering it down more. In fact, even NetApp has a huge CSR activity, right? We need to, you rightly hit upon a very important note, which is, organizations should play to their strengths. And I think it's very, very key. We should all, I'll take that message back as well to my company, and we should all try and start doing. Thank you for that, Nirupama. So with that, I think what we'll try and quickly do, I don't know if we have enough time for questions, but we'll take a couple, I think. Anurag, this question is for you from the audience. What can be the possible roles for teachers and school leaders in supporting classroom innovation?
No, the excellent one. We got a fully equipped studio from Thane Municipal Corporation. I'm just giving one example at Mumbai, and what we are doing there is bringing all the teachers there, and best of the teachers on specific subjects. They are developing content, and we are beaming it through radio, and we are beaming it through podcasts, which is available on smartphones and other stuff. One is that can we, in the sense, identify the best of teachers on some of these subjects, bring them in, and create content which can then be shared with other teachers to help them in running some of the classes, and also in the sense provide it to the students so that they can use it when the whole lockdown is there and you're not supposed to get into the school. That's one bit. Second is that we came out with our own STEM kit. We realized that the market kits are lot costlier, and we can't have similar kind of kit for government school in big numbers. So we came out with our own STEM kit, which in the sense, further enriched it by bringing in the robotics and IT related material there in those kits. Added manual and added video for people to use it. Every kit had multiple, I'll say, every part which we provided there, we provided in multiple numbers. What we said was, let people break it. Let people, in the sense, experience failure in that particular sense. And they should not be dissuaded by telling them that, hey, there's only one there in that particular kit, don't break it. So let them feel that there are 6 or 8 there and readily available in the market for them to go out and buy that. I'll give you one simple example. My microscope will cost you at least 5,000 rupees in the market. The microscope that we have developed is costing us 100 rupees only.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can, what is called, we are providing all the material in the kit itself for kids to make it, so that they know that if they break it, they have the ability to make it again by buying these material in the market.
That's amazing.
It has 4 big screws there. Put that on a tin sheet and put those lenses there, and you are okay to do this. Because what they need in the school is not a lab quality microscope. What they need in the school is a microscope where the lenses are placed in a way that they can see the slide and they can see what all are there in the slide. Yeah. We started helping them make telescope by using material there. They started working Arduinos, and teachers are doing it. So the best transformation that's happening there is at the teachers level, because what they realized was that teaching math and science through books will make everyone's life so boring. These kids allowed them what is called to bring joy back into the classroom.
Learning. Yeah.
And what has happened is, one of the teachers was telling me that, Anurag, you gave me a very different kind of problem. These kids are now asking whether they can come on Sunday also, so that they can work on the InnoStream lab that we have created there. And these kids are saying that you give me the keys, we'll keep it there, we'll make sure that no harm happens to the school, but we want to come on Sunday to work on the InnoStream lab. Because what we have done is, those small magic moments that kids experience, that, hey, I created something new. And these are, you start with the lowest hanging fruit, and then you start asking them move ahead. That is creating the innovation in the classroom. And I give huge credit to the teachers there. What I've
Amazing.
seen during the lockdown period also, the teachers who were not good with the online, they learnt it quickly because they wanted to go back to the students to teach them. And I salute the passion that they have. People, there are many people who have talked about government school teachers and uh, how they feel they are not good. But I'll tell you one thing: government school teachers are the best that you can have it, because they are trained, they know their stuff. The only thing that they require is a huge amount of motivation, and make sure that all the hygiene issues which are there in that particular environment gets handled there. They are the one who are creating huge amount of change and impact
Impact.
at the people.
Yeah. All these
All
teachers
this credit
and
to them.
yeah, Nirupama also touched on it. We are humbled. What we do in corporate, we're just sitting in front of a monitor and doing all our work. These people go into the schools and do such massive work. A big salute to all the teachers.
Big salute to all of them.
Big salute. Thank you. And Nirupama, we have a question for you. How do we encourage CSRs to contribute to remote and rural areas such as Bihar, Chhattisgarh, northeastern parts of India?
Yeah, that's actually, interesting one. And I was thinking about it. I did see it on the chat window, so it's not an easy solution. The reason being, and I'll be very open, as corporates, when we look at CSR, we try to look at our immediate environment and how do we, influence and make our immediate environment, better, in terms of the community that we operate in. So, if you're operating in certain cities and states, we typically tend to, kind of contribute to those states and, support them. And, we are also interacting with the government bodies. We know what they need. We are close to the ground in those places. Plus, volunteering is a very big part of our entire thing, because our team members, our employees want to contribute. They want to go out there and volunteer. So it is also logistically easy for us. Okay. So we do tend to be a little more, focused on the areas that we operate in. But, as I was thinking about this question, and I think that's where NGOs play a big role. Corporates really typically contribute through NGOs. Okay. And we are also very, very sensitive to crisis situations and, those kind of situations. So irrespective of which part of the country a crisis happens, we tend to contribute, because all our employees are from various parts of the country. So everybody wants to contribute when there is a disaster. So disaster is taken care of. But, the BAU or the normal kind of innovation or normal kind of support that needs to be done, I think there is a role that NGOs can possibly play here. And I'm not really, passing the buck, but what I'm saying is that, we partner with NGOs and we typically do community, development and community contributions through them. So that the NGOs are able to kind of bring those kind of, areas and the challenges in those areas to the corporates, I would think that would be the best route for corporates who are not present in those areas to contribute to those communities. So, we may not have direct contribution. So the way Anurag mentioned, which, we also try to do, get our senior leaders involved, get our employees involved. It may not be as deep in those kind of areas, but definitely contributions and, occasional kind of participation could be facilitated through NGO partners, is how I look at it. And
so what you're saying is really, it's not as much, you can't look at it as direct engagement in those cities and tier 2, tier 3, whatever cities they are, but we do it through other arms and other organizations. And the reach is definitely much more, maybe because there's plenty of other organizations that can reach into these remote locations. Yeah,
well because said, otherwise, even if we start something, and again, I was thinking about it as I saw the question, I don't think we can sustain it. It may be the passion of a few people and they may decide to do it, but it may not really last. And that, I think, is not a great thing. I think what we need to build for is building for sustainability as much as possible. And I think partnering would be a good way to go there. That's my
Thank you, Nirupama. So last question for you, Anurag. I think we've run almost over by 10 minutes, but people are, so this panel discussion has been so engaging. I don't think we want to finish it, wrap it up. How do we promote co-creation among civil society organizations? What skills, mindset, or knowledge would be required from NGOs? How can corporates promote this?
So it has a very easy answer. It has a very difficult answer. I'll start with the easy one. Let me start with the difficult one. The NGO environment is as competitive as any other political environment can be. To be very honest. I always tell people that we are in a unique position where NGOs don't trust corporate don't trust NGOs don't trust the government doesn't trust either of these two. And you have to, as a CSR head, my job is to make sure that all the three arms work in tandem.
Yeah.
The aim and intent is that, and we need to make sure that share the best practices that's happening there, and then enable them to accept, acknowledge that there may be better practices that other NGOs may be doing. And that's what we are doing through our partnership development forum that we have created, where NGOs come together to share in a very open environment where no one is going to judge you based on what you are doing, what you're not doing. But at the same time, the aim and intent is to learn what you are doing. And if I feel that there's a gap there in what I'm doing or what my strategies are, can I learn from there? And there is, create a space where everyone is equal, and sharing can happen in a very reciprocal manner, where there is no one who only gives you and you are the only one who's receiving it, which will create a kind of imbalance in the relationship that we are bringing in. So the whole idea of creating a platform where people can share it without this insecurity that hey, someone is going to use my the innovation that I've done and do it in their own areas. Do it in a reciprocal manner where you and do it in a very transactional manner where you give something to take something, so that there is a greater acceptance that something that you're doing is not something which can't get created by someone else also. So when you start sharing it, you're only in the sense helping someone save their 1 year or 2 year, which they'll be investing in creating something new. And this wherever we have done this, used this has opened up the minds of our partners also, partner NGOs also. Second, what we did, and which has in the sense opened up the relationship in many ways, we started using NGOs to do the impact evaluation of some other NGOs work. For example, if Nirupama is head of X NGO and you are head of Y NGO, so let Kritika's NGO get reviewed and audited by Nirupama's NGOs. Yeah. And let Nirupama NGO get reviewed by Anurag's NGO. So what happens is then you start feeling much more transparent rather than you be in a closed mind. And fourth is acknowledge, bring a sense of competitiveness within the NGO space also. So every year within our limited NGO partnership, we give them 6 awards based on operational effectiveness, based on innovation that they're bringing in, based on community connect. And these, in the sense, I've seen after we announce the award, the messages that I get from the NGOs is, hey, they got it this year, but tell them, be prepared, we are coming in for the next year. Yeah. And they'll say it openly, which in the sense make everyone what is called aim and go for that. It has become aspirational now. And this is changing the whole character. And one thing which I'll advise all the CSR heads, if they are watching this, is start respecting NGOs. Start being humble with them. We don't try to be humble with them. We sometimes start believing that I have the money, hence I am going to dictate the terms. But please accept, please, that whatever you are telling the world that you have done all those things just because your NGOs have delivered it. So in that particular sense, they are the real Shringar of yours. Huh? So we need to humble in front of them, and we need to acknowledge the impactful work that we are doing. We are just bringing in money, nothing else. And they are the one who are putting heart, soul, mind, sweat, blood, everything there in that.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for that. Wise words. and they were humbling, very humbling. So I think I want to end with, the key messages that both you and Nirupama articulated. You said, tap into those young, restless minds, and we will have great micro innovations happening all the while. And Nirupama, back to your message, encourage open discussion, listening, be a very good listener, and tap into, any open, diverse and tap into the diversity and inclusion angle, and be open to listening ideas from one and all. And with that, I want to hand it back to the MC. Thank you for this opportunity. Very, very humbled. And thank you, panelists. You both were amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
Chief.
you,
Thank you.
Kritika.
Have a lovely
Thank you.
day and have a lovely weekend, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think all the success stories that were just discussed was really, really inspiring. I mean, starting from having a virtual summer camp to children using Raspberry Pi and Google Meets, I think that's really, really amazing. I think some of the life lessons, something like Anurag sir mentioned about, it's okay to make mistakes. Just having every teacher and a school leader having that very attitude of it's okay and allow the child to make a mistake, and itself prospers innovation, creativity. I think that is really amazing. And in the discussion, a couple of ideas that really struck me is about virtual learning and also community centers. I think those two are also one of the top 5 ideas that will be celebrated today. I'm very happy that we're all in the same boat. So I'm really looking forward for that. And so thank you, Anurag sir and Nirupama ma'am, for that beautiful discussion, and definitely Kritika ma'am for such beautifully collating all these ideas together and make this sound very interesting. And audience for sure. So there are around 1,000 to 1,100 live audiences in YouTube, watching this entire discussion. So those questions were also really nice and helped us think it forward. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinay.
We are here today to celebrate the spirit of innovation, to recognize the power of individuals and collectives working towards the same vision. This can only be done by collaborating with individuals and organizations to constantly innovate and experiment to arrive at the best possible solution. As we work in our own ways to make India's education system stronger, we are all creating a world where innovation can bloom, challenge conventional methods, and also build the future that we desire. With this objective of celebrating innovation across schools by our stakeholders, the Micro Innovation Award was initiated in 2019. This year, in the second edition of the Micro Innovation Award, we had more than 80 school leaders who represented schools managed by the Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Residential Educational Institution Society participating in this competition.
The competition kick-started somewhere in 27th July. So all the school leaders and teachers had around 2 months to think of an idea, brainstorm it, actually go back and implement it in their schools, and then upload their evidences and document this entire thing in an application called Unnati. So the competition concluded on 20th of September. Like Dhanesh just said, so we received around 150 projects with around spread across 80 schools. Yeah, so the stakeholders continuously innovated, throughout this entire phase. Some exciting projects came around, like I previously just mentioned. So we had virtual teaching, COVID readiness, drought readiness, water scarcity, infrastructure, many other things, right? So we are really looking forward, to celebrate those top 5 ideas at this point.
Yeah, and to evaluate these projects, we had a jury team consisting of 4 judges who took out time from the busy schedule to go through the various projects and also to grade them. We will now take the opportunity to introduce all of them to you.
Okay, so the first member of the jury is Ms. Purna Mukesh. Ma'am is a passionate educator and with teaching degree from California, United States of America. She has taught in Japan and also in public schools in US. Purna ma'am has worked with Muktangan, a Mumbai-based NGO, working in improving the quality of education of Mumbai's slums. And she is also part of teacher training programs as well. So ma'am is associated with an organization called Samriddhi, where they educate children from slums here again. And ma'am is also part of Kids Who Code, which teaches coding skills to children from affordable private schools.
The second member of the jury is Ms. Veena Sagar. Ma'am has been in the space of education for over 25 years. She has donned the hats of a teacher, a school administrator, and currently an education consultant at Shiksha Lokam. Veena ma'am has helped develop two of Bangalore's best schools almost from scratch, the Samiti Academy and the Prakriya Green Wisdom School.
Our third jury member is Praveen Kumar Naidu. In a nutshell, is a facilitator, learning architect, and a teacher educator. He's enthusiastic, results oriented, and with over 15 plus years of solid professional experiences. He worked in banking and financial services, in complex matrices, and also in global workspaces. His specialties include training, project management, learning need analysis, designing and learning facilitation experiences, coaching and mentoring, to name a few. He has been part of AP's various training and is very, very popularly known for his singing skills, definitely along with his training skills here.
Yeah, our fourth jury member is Monisha Datta ma'am. She decided to move away from corporate into a challenging world of boarding schools. She has been the co-founder of the Doons Girls School and Dehradun Boys School. She is actively involved in designing child-centric curriculum and pedagogies which are suited best to the needs of the school children. A multi-talented person with a presence in the education sector for over 20 plus years, ma'am has been currently involved in understanding the global education systems and is now involved in devising curriculum and pedagogies for senior school based on global requirements.
So thank you all the judges for taking out time from a busy schedule to be part of the jury and to create this beautiful experience for all of us. We also have Muhammad Azharuddin sir with us today. So Muhammad Azharuddin sir is a technologist, educator, technologist by profession and educator by passion. He has around 10 years of experience managing IT firms on and in class organizations like Dell and ADP. He is currently heading Indo-US Public Schools, where he manages 3 schools, 45 teachers, and 400 plus children.
Dear judges, it would be great if you could share your experience of being a part of the micro innovation competition journey. Veena ma'am, you have been closely working with Mantra from the time the competition was conceptualized. I now request you to please share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Dhyanish and Vinay. Good morning, everyone. First, I would like to thank Mantra for Change for inviting me to be part of the Micro Innovations Awards. And I'd like to thank each and every member of Team Mantra for the wonderful work that you're doing. To be able to continue to support and motivate so many school leaders and teachers, energizing them to think, to innovate is simply amazing. I also would like to extend my appreciation to all the participating schools. Innovative school leaders are connected to the world around them. Innovative teachers are also deeply connected to the needs of their students. It is this deep connection that makes schools a hotspot for innovative work, and that is why it is important to recognize these innovations. I remember last year's Micro Innovations Awards. The idea was not just to recognize the schools, but also the teachers and students who have led initiatives on their own and brought about a real difference to the entire school. This year, the award continues to put innovation at the center. Any disaster, they say, is a laboratory for innovation. The global COVID-19 pandemic is one such challenge. None of us know how long this uncertainty will continue, but we all believe that learning has to continue, that it cannot be paused. Educators are compelled to consider the most effective ways to reach and teach students. That means COVID-19 is opening doors to new ideas and to create improvement projects for implementation. How can technology support teachers and educators in this process? To create, to implement, and to document with ease. Unnati app is one of the capabilities of Shiksha Lokam. Education leaders can use Unnati to create projects, invite others to collaborate, assign timelines, execute, and monitor progress. It not only helps individuals and schools to track progress, but enables these projects to be recorded for others to contextualize and use. And therefore, when we had to innovate and when we had to reach out in different ways, we said, how can we support teachers with using this Unnati app to be able to come up with these small +1 ideas for improvement in their schools, which when added goes a long way. And documentation becomes an important part of this whole to monitor progress, and it also contributes to transfer knowledge. Whatever is documented as an improvement project can be picked up by somebody and contextualized for themselves. So this process was something which is supported by Unnati app, and that was one of the major tools which was used this year in the innovation projects. Now, the next step, once we have so many people documenting their projects, is to identify and recognize unique and impactful improvement projects. So this year, the Innovation Awards has seen more than 80 schools register, and the projects were evaluated in 2 stages. The first stage was projects were shortlisted, and this was done by the team Mantra, the internal team Mantra, based on evidence and completion of tasks. And stage 2 was done by with the help of the jury team, and they had 5 criteria on which they had to shortlist. It was around relevance, creativity, transferability, impact, and involvement. Personally, for me, it was very humbling to see the various ways in which educators are trying to make this time productive for students, for teachers, and for parents. Each project has been designed keeping the context in mind, the context in which they are working. And the solutions have been designed for maximum impact, involving the different stakeholders. My appreciation to all the participants, and to me, each one is a winner. It's a winner for investing your time, your effort, and for wanting to participate in the Micro Innovation Awards. Best wishes to all. Over
Thank
to
you,
you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You beautifully explained some of the key points that we considered while the whole competition was conceptualized. It was great working with you. We got a lot of ideas when we were brainstorming and all of that. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now request Monisha ma'am to share her experience.
Hi. So, yes, thank you, Mantra team. And basically, frankly speaking, at this very moment, I'm feeling not just humbled, technically speechless. Listening to the panel discussion, actually taking a deep dive into things that are happening, which a lot of us take for granted. The beauty, the way you people have done the innovation project, the beauty of the entire thing is that in times like COVID, when everyone was feeling completely lost, it was like a dark era. People didn't know what is going to happen, and a lot of people who can't afford or did not even conceptualize that schooling would be possible for them while they are still at their homes. I think the project that you started, the project that you initiated, ensured that everyone gave a thought beyond themselves. So I'm actually humbled beyond words to be a part of this jury team, where I was given an opportunity to look at what all everyone has done, how involved everyone has been in executing and reaching out to the people where most of the world was not even wanting to step out of their comfort zones. Projects like Meet and Teach, where you're reaching out to the villages, where you're sitting with the community, you are actually doing what needs to be done as educators. So it's been a beautiful experience. And the joy of this entire thing that I realized is the way you have designed the criteria on which the marking was done. See, normally when we talk of innovation, which is what the NEP is also talking about, it's all talking about inclusion and innovation, right? What happened down there was actually what is inclusion, where if I am possibly able to do something, I'm ensuring that it reaches out to the other people. The best thing about this was the way you picked up points like relevance, creativity, the transferability, the impact it would create, and the innovation. Because see, in today's date, when we were hit with COVID, the main thing was that we needed to reach out to everyone so that education could be provided, so that we could ensure that the children were not left on their own. And it was not just the education, like the academic thing that was taken care of, the relevance factor, which most of the projects covered, they were looking at health as well. So it was very relevant to the need of the hour. And that was one of the key criteria that we were supposed to be marking on. Besides that, if supposedly I am taking out time to innovate something, unless and until it is impactful, it does what it needs to do, and it is adaptable, means I can use this model in 10 other places, it does not solve the purpose. Education somewhere for all of us had become a black box method. Whatever we do in our classrooms, it's not discussed outside the classroom, or the knowledge is not shared. But through this transferability option that you had in your criteria, it was evident that whatever anybody was creating, they had to ensure, they had to give it a thought that this moves on beyond the four walls of their school and is possible to be implemented wherever it needs to be implemented. And of course, creativity, nothing happens without creativity. Innovation is the new high in today's world. And like Mr. Anurag beautifully said, allow space for mistakes. We as educators, we as teachers have become so limited in our approach that we feel that we cannot make mistakes. Neither can we make mistakes, nor do we allow that same thing for children. Most of the times when we are studying, when we start with our education, we start with pencil because it's okay to make mistakes at a young age. But when does that pencil become a pen is a completely different mindset. The whole mindset changes. Everyone completely starts thinking that from here on, I should know it all and should not be making any mistakes. But I think if we want to be creative and innovative, that's the only way we can be. We can keep exploring, trying, repeating it till we are all successful. And whatever we create should actually be something that everyone can use. It should be of use to everyone. So thank you, Mantra for Change team. You people have been working beautifully, relentlessly, so passionately that this has been a learning experience for me also. Thank you very much.
We are very happy to hear from you about your experiences, ma'am. You also gave us a really good insight on what kind of thought process that went into while we came up with the criteria. We also got a good understanding like how a jury member will see all these criteria. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, Purna ma'am, you have been closely associated with the Mantra for quite some time now. You are a part of the jury team from the first edition of the Micro Innovation Award as well. I would now request you to share your experience from this journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to extend my very warm congratulations to Team Mantra for executing and hosting Micro Innovations Award with the State Department for the first time. Like you said, last year, we did Micro Innovations for the first time. And it was a wonderful experience for me personally to be a jury. This year was very, very different as compared to last year. The challenges that the pandemic posed has been seismic. And therefore, the kind of projects that I saw this year were very, very different in terms of innovation and solutions. One point that was mentioned by Nirupama ma'am really struck home, and I saw that translated across the projects that I saw this year, and it made me truly happy. When she talked about diversity, it's really diversity of thought, and that diversity can be applied when you have an agile leadership. And I saw that across the projects that we saw this year. The leadership was agile. We brought in all the stakeholders. They brought innovative ideas. They looked at villages and how can we bring people from the villages to participate and ensure that not just learning, but mental well-being, being cared for, being listened to, being heard, all of those things came right through. So learning cannot happen without mental well-being. without good health, without food. So those things getting taken care of, and then ensuring that collectively we work together to bring about solutions. So for me personally, what was very exciting to see about the projects this year is it brought about change in the attitude, thanks to the pandemic, where people started working together to find solutions. And it was this diversity of thought and the agile leadership that brought it all together that was truly, truly wonderful to see. The second thing that I also really liked is the various factors on which we evaluated the project, something that I saw in the first year as well, which is the creativity, the relevance. And this year I saw each one of them almost magnified because of the pandemic. Each one of those topics and the solutions and the way they were addressing each of those points was truly magnified this year. And I was very, very happy to see the kind of solutions. My hope and prayer is that the pandemic has given us this opportunity to create together, co-create, and like Veena ma'am said, to put that on Unnati so that we can share ideas and really bring about change. It's been an absolute honor to be a part of the jury this year, because I got to not just read and honestly internalize, think about it, but I also got to apply some of those solutions with the kids that we work with. And I just want to say thank you to every single school that participated in the Micro Innovations Award this year. I want to thank Mantra for the unbelievable effort that they have put in to not just be curtailed by this pandemic, but to use it as an opportunity to work at state levels, to inspire leadership, teachers, and kids as a whole. So my warm, warm congratulations to Mantra. And like Veena said, every school that participated, innovated, is a winner. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the jury team. It's been a truly humbling experience. Thank you to all the teachers who've been out there. Put your heart, soul, mind to the work that you do. I'm truly humbled, truly honored. Thank you so very much for the work you do.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience. The way in which you associated innovation to the current situation is quite remarkable. We're also happy to hear that the innovations got better this year. We still hope that the best is yet to come. Once again, thank you, ma'am.
As a part of this competition, the schools created more than 150 projects. We are sure that all the projects were created and implemented on the school had significant impact on overall development of the school. From that perspective, in the school which have participated have been successful. All the participants are winners, like all the jury members have just mentioned. But we want to go one step ahead and appreciate the 5 best top innovations that we have had so far. These innovations would have done differently in certain criteria, and hence they're standing apart. And again, choosing this top 5 winners was never an easy task. It was really a close competition, and now it is time to see which are those top 5 schools who has won the Micro Innovation Awards 2020. The judges, along with others, will be announcing the winners, and will also be interacting with them to understand about their projects and their innovations. The top 5 winners will be announced in no particular order. Now I would like to request Praveen sir. Even before announcing, I would like to request him to share his experience as a part of jury and then announce the winner. Praveen sir, over to you.
Hello everyone, Andarki Namaskaram. I would share the exact same sentiment that Purna ma'am and Monisha ma'am as well as Veena ma'am shared. I won't repeat, it's been a humbling experience. And for me personally, because I'm associated with Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Schools for quite some time now, it's been wonderful, incredibly inspiring. And like I said in one of the sessions that I'm going to use, AP Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Schools as an example, as an inspiration examples in my workshops that I facilitate. because truly in the sense, I have learned a lot through these experiences of being part of the jury and also associating myself with various trainings that we have conducted for Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Schools, teachers, caretakers, academic coordinators, TGTs, etc. So it was a great experience. So I have learned a lot in this process. So not wasting much of your time, because all of you all are anxious to know who the winners are. Our jury already said that winning and losing is part and parcel of life. The winners is just to consider that all of us get inspired by them, so that we can learn being in the exploratory zone, and then try different things. We have been taught to think in binary, either it is a success or it's a failure. But I believe between success and failure there is a huge zone, which is the exploratory zone. And I think this pandemic has helped us to explore ourselves, find out more about our bright spots, our challenges. And Anjali mentioned it very nicely in one of her posts yesterday, saying that never let a crisis go waste. I think one inspiring example where I have seen where we didn't even waste a moment is Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare, the department, the support from the leadership. Somewhere that fear of failure vanished, right? People want to explore, people volunteered to be part of various training programs, learning programs, and we could see all the 21st century learning skills being applied, right? Communication improved between people, collaborative efforts improved, critical thinking improved, also creativity. We put that logical thinking to rest for some time, because crisis, creative thinking helps, innovative thinking helps, because we are thinking, we have never been in this situation. Now we have been pushed to think, in one particular way. So not holding your time much. So one such project which helped us to actually think how innovation can be done was virtual learning to all classes during COVID-19. And this was from Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare Residential School and Junior College, Nuziveedu. So congratulations to the school and all the team from Nuziveedu. So now I request the school leadership team or anybody from that school to please come on air and share, about your project. What exactly, how did you ideate about this project? మీరు ఎలా థింక్ చేశారు ఈ ప్రాజెక్ట్ గురించి, ఇది చేయాలని ఎందుకు అనిపించింది? So if one of you can come and share, it will be great.
Sir, video please. Good morning all the dignitaries. I'm Chandra, school leader, Balayogi Gurukulam, Nuziveedu. I'm glad to inform you that my project is virtual learning to all classes during COVID-19. We selected this project for the well-being of children and for holistic development during COVID, as the schools closed, and enable children to learn at home through virtual without losing time. We want to be in touch with all the stakeholders and to give confidence to children and parents as well, ensuring that we are with them every minute, driving away their fear about education. We conducted meeting with all the stakeholders and designed the project. Our goal is to make students learn, acquire knowledge, retain, acquire values, and develop communication skills. We created WhatsApp groups to teach each class. Next slide, please. Frame a timetable, allotted duties to execute, made video lessons. Next slide, please. Cleared the doubts through Zoom calls and over phone calls. We gave assignments through Google Sheets, reviewed performance. We concentrated not only in academics, but also in craft, art, music, asanas, and physical exercises, and gave instructions from time to time how to take care of their health during COVID. We were able to get good outcome in molding children academically brilliant, physically fit, mentally strong, emotionally balanced, and spiritually elevated. I congratulate my team for commitment and dedication. Thank you all.
Great,
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So over to you, Vinay. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for announcing this. And thank you so much, Chandra ma'am and our entire Nuziveedu school team for this beautiful project.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So you can see this is the entire team of News Video School, and all the teachers have come together to make this project happen. So once again, congratulations.
Thank
The
you, sir.
entire
Thank you
team.
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request Poorna ma'am to announce the next winner. Poorna ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Again, the next winner is APS WRS Junior College, Pathapatnam. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And their project was Operation Village Circle during COVID-19, continuing teaching and learning during these times. So my warm congratulations to them. What struck me, truly struck me, was they included upskilling, digitization, outreach, and mobilization of the community, and so much more. And I saw that across the project. It certainly had a positive impact. The pandemic certainly had a positive impact on their work in reaching out to the students and the community. So thank you so much. And my very, very warm congratulations to the entire team. I request the representative of the school to please briefly share about this project and how you brought all the stakeholders to come together to make this an effective and outcome.
Yes, thank you and good morning, everybody. I'm Vani, principal and representative from our school. Thank you, Judy, for being our project. And before getting into the project, I would thank both the secretaries of our society, Secretary sir, and our secretary, sir, because they are responsible to take this project.
Sorry, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I think we can't hear you. Could you maybe start from the beginning?
Oh.
And could you also switch off your switch on? No, ma'am. Could you try again? Can you also switch on your camera, ma'am?
Yeah. I am audible or not?
It's breaking a little bit. Hello, ma'am, are you there?
Vani ma'am, can you hear us? Okay, maybe we can get back to Vani. We can hear from Vani ma'am a little later. Let's go to the next winner. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Vani ma'am, we'll hear from you a little later. We'll
Yeah. Now we connected. Good morning, all. And thank you, Judy, for keeping our project in top 5. I am Vani, Principal Pathapatnam. Before getting into the project, I want to thank both the secretaries of our society, Ramulu sir and Ravichandra sir, because they are responsible for keeping this project. Why? Because one day, I want to tell a small flashback about this. Yes, one fine day, we got a post from our principal secretary, sir, a post that relieves what means different ways of reaching the students at the time of pandemic 19. And I routinely answered as wonderful. And then our secretary sir replied to that, then why can't you? He questioned me. This made us to think of that. And I discussed with my team. And at the same time, we are trying to reach our students through virtual. But most of our students are academically backward and they are very low tech or no tech. At the situation, we choose this as the right platform. And our goal is to reach and continue teaching and learning to each and every student of our school. For this, we have planned project on the Unity, and because of our planning and cooperation of our team, we reached nearly 300 students. In virtually, if we are trying to reach, we are able to reach only 150 or around 160. But through these village circles, nearly 400 we have reached, and I think our project is successful. Different stakeholders like community, parents, teachers, and non-teaching staff, and then village secretaries. With the help of these, we able to reach our students and continue the learning. And the important tasks in this are, we are able to hear. This is my team, and these are some of the team members to reach out this project. And there are so many other people also who are not here. I am sorry for this. And our teachers done very well in making the success. Thank you once again to Mantra and my team for their cooperation.
Thank you, ma'am. Poorna ma'am, would you have
These are some of the picks which are related to our project. And first of all, we conducted meeting with the parents and my teachers and discussed what are the difficulties and what are the steps we have to take to face this pandemic. And we collected data about the children, where they are residing at the times, and we mapped each village to one teacher and to supervise and to give necessary learning activities. In such a way, we have mapped the teachers to the villages. And then there's so many, not only, okay.
Yes, yes.
Not only learning, we have switched off, we switched to what we call cultural and art activities also we have taken. Not only we switched to this learning or academics. Thank you once again, Mantra and my team. That's all.
Poorna ma'am, would you have any other question for ma'am? Poorna ma'am?
I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know I had to unmute. Thank you, Vani ma'am, for sharing all the details. And what really stood out for me was how well structured your entire program management was. The entire program was designed in a very, very structured manner. My second question to you, you actually answered, which was the stakeholders. I also really like the fact that you all sought out the alumni that was there from your school, right? And that was really wonderful because they already know you all, you know them, you found out their phone numbers and reached out to them. And that really is the essence of building community. So thank you to you and the entire team for the incredible work that you all have done. My warm congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you. Over to you, Vinay.
Thank you, ma'am. So thank you, Poorna ma'am, for announcing this, for doing this honor. And also Vani ma'am and the entire Pathapatnam team, thank you so much for this. We'll move on to the next one. So congratulations one more time. Now I would like to request Monisha ma'am to do the next honor. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Vinay. So the next winner, and I would like to congratulate the entire team for working on the project aligning towards society vision and mission. Education is not just about livelihood, it is all about life. Congratulations. And this has been really wonderful to go through your project, the way you have documented and actually minuted each and every movement that I think happened. And I'm quite impressed with how many people must have been involved in trying to figure out, like, you know, it's almost like a step-by-step recording and clicking off pictures, and each moment, it must be like a beautiful journey for all of you. So could you share a little bit about your project, ma'am?
A very good morning to all, ma'am. This is Manikyam, school leader, APSWRS Talapalam, Visakhapatnam district. At first, a big thank you to AP SWARI management and Mantra team for giving us this great honor. Really huge, proud and wow moment for entire Talapalam team. Just briefing my project, everyone knows that the fact we are fighting against the pandemic COVID-19, locking ourselves at home. But then we thought of our students, what can we do? What best can we do? And we set up a micro plan that can help students in the prevailing situations. And I really love our society's vision. Education is not just for livelihood, but for life. Yes, it's true. With minimum or nil numeracy and literacy also, one can earn his bread and butter. But education should help for meaningful life. When we go through the philosophies and perspectives of educationists like Vivekananda, Rabindranath Tagore, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, and Abdul Kalam, they all fix at one common point, teach to transform and for meaningful life. So now our mission emphasizing on the acronym AP SWARIS. So A is for academically brilliant. So we created WhatsApp groups and through Meet app where we are conducting classes for them to complete the first quarterly syllabus. And P for physically fit. So we concentrated on their health and gave the children health tips regularly. And also we designed a video of 15 minutes comprising all the yogasanas. And that was telecasted for all the children and they practice at home. And also we have S for socially responsible and W for wisely behaved, R for radiantly empowered, and E for emotionally balanced. So aligning to this, we plan sessions where students can empower and enrich focusing by conducting essay writing competitions and then role plays, elocutions, and interior decorations, socially responsible, to create them socially responsibleness. We have designed some social useful products like clay models and preparation of sanitizers and masks, which grab the attention of not only the students, but also their parents and relatives at large. And I for intellectually strengthened development conducted competitions of logo preparation, creating mails, games through coding, and also we have focused on preparing children how to use internet and mobile very safely and properly. So, and then coming to the spiritually elevated, which is very much required. So we focused on meditation and relaxation techniques, and also through small forms of moral stories and thoughts of the day. We have enriched students spiritually, and yeah, that's it. And our whole team made this possible. So thank you and kudos to the whole team. Now I would also request my over to you, Bhavani. She would like to share about the computational skill which helped all this happen. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is Anbhavani, working as IT city trainer in AP Balyagi Gurukulam, Talapalam, Visakhapatnam district. And I'm really thankful to being a part of this event. And at starting, we have faced a lot of difficulties to reach the students. But later, we made a plan and we separated students into 2 categories. And each student as category as well as a tech students and non-tech students. We use it to share information to the students through WhatsApp groups like videos, audios, PPTs, Google Meet and links and Zoom call links and some other Google Forms. Then tech students use it to communicate with non-tech students through phone, and they use it to receive information from non-tech students. Then we gathered information about non-tech students from tech students. In this way, we maintained different plans for different category students. So in this way, we have achieved our project, and we have maintained micro and macro level teaching plans, which covers all our goal points. Now I'm over into our principal, ma'am.
So I think all this happened because of our great team. And I can say that if the school leader is the heart of a body, and all the remaining members are our employees are the parts of the body. If we just think, if the heart just thinks that it takes rest for a moment or a second, everything is collapsed. So what we thought is, let us all the way run, and my entire team helped me. And all this happened because of lot of inspiration from our secretary sir and principal secretary sir to bring in, they had lot of curiosity to bring in changes in the society schools. So a big thank you to each and every one of the team who made all this successful.
Thank you, ma'am. A couple of things that really touched me about what you just said. You know, most of the time, the heads of the school like to call themselves the heads. Actually, they are the hearts of the school, and the rest of them are the parts of the school. And the body cannot function till everyone is in the same loop with all of, the entire team with each other. And the second beauty of your project was the way you isolated each skill that you wanted to teach, whether it was academic or spiritual or social development or whatever. And then that kind of message transferred to the entire community, children, the stakeholders, all stakeholders, the parents and everyone, right? So do you think this model that you have created is a transferable model? Will any other school in Talepalam will be able to take this up and beyond your township of Talepalam?
Yeah, ma'am. I can strongly feel that everybody can take this, ma'am, because we already have ATL labs and we are doing lot of community programs. So we are reaching out children near to Talepalam, and we are covering almost all the mandal level schools. We are inviting students from ZP schools, ma'am, and all the municipal corporation schools, or make any of the students are free to open our labs and work along with us. So I think this is because even in ATL labs also, now our students are working on a project, drain to drink. So we are gathering the water, what is getting drained water in our school. We are planning to make it a useful project for all the other people to use it as a drinking water, because here we have salt content, ma'am, more salt content. So in this way, we invite everybody, ma'am. And also, I think it is possible and transferable for all the schools.
And anything you would like them to keep in mind if they're taking up this project?
Yeah, ma'am. It's really a challenging thing, the school leader will face, because to bring out the holistic part of education. So here, what just happens is when we just concentrate on one part of the thing, the remaining part may not be working well. So always we should have at tips the micro level plans where which area to focus, and keep on alerting all the members of the school. Really we have teaching staff, we have non-teaching staff, and we have subordinating staff. Each and every one plays a very, very important role in keeping up the school, ma'am. I strongly believe this, because as a team we are working and we could bring lot of change, and parents also do admit that there is change in the society schools, and also they are very, very happy at everything what we are doing, ma'am. because I had Zoom meets and I always speak with the parents now virtually, but when they come to collect the school, collect the books from the school, or when they come to meet us for any cause, any petty cause, I always speak to them, may it be a one parent or two or any number of parents. I'll just keep on asking them and counseling them so that at least to give a few tips, whatever, required. So I think we can do all this, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to the entire team of your school at Talepalam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Monisha ma'am, for presenting this award, and thank you, Manikya ma'am and the entire Talepalam school team for this beautiful project putting together. You also showed us a sense of possibility. Even virtually, we can still achieve AP's various mission. Thank you for that, ma'am. We'll go to the next winner. I would like to request Azhar sir to announce the next winner. Azhar sir, over to you.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Mantra for organizing and facilitating these awards. I cannot tell you how important it is to recognize teaching. It's really hard work. So all the stakeholders that have come here, I'm extremely impressed by what I have seen. So the next award is to the APSWRS JC team at Uppalapadu. The project was development of good rapport between staff and students. So congratulations to the entire team at the team at Uppalapadu. I would request somebody from Uppalapadu to come and share about their experience with regards to this project.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for our Principal Secretary Sir and Secretary Sir for training us and making us thinking out of box. And I thank the entire Mantra team for giving us this opportunity. And thank you all. And our project is to develop and maintain good rapport between staff and students and to build confidence among students through phone in this pandemic condition. Actually, we did not start this as a project. We turned the work we have done as a project. During lockdown, we started Zoom calls and we remembered about our students and their phone calls. Our teachers told that, ma'am, we are getting bored and missing our students a lot. Then we thought of calling the students and know their well-being. And the entire team of Uppalapadu staff members helped us a lot in implementing and doing this project. We started this on June 28th, and after 1 week, we again joined and we found that our students are being bombarded with 4 to 5 calls on the same day by different teachers. So we immediately framed a fixed timetable for phone calls to students, and daily each teacher called 20 students. And we also framed a few questions to ask the students and parents. And as by the advice of our DCO Venkatrao sir, we followed specific format for managing and monitoring this progress, which paved a very good path for this. And every day I used to call 3 teachers and inquire about phone calls and ask for diary submission so that to confirm the work is going on or not. Teachers who are nearby used to come and show the work and discuss about the problems they are facing. And like this, we continued this project and we were able to reach out to this 487 students out of 494 students during these calls. And this is the project for good rapport between staff and students, to build confidence among students and to reach at least 70% of our students through phone. And we achieved this, and only we are missing 7 students, and we are going to them to know what is the difficulty for them to reach out us. And this is the team, few members of this team, and other members we are missing, and the entire team helped a lot to reach out to all the students and know whether the learning is happening in WhatsApp groups also. And thanks for all the entire team. And these are the timetable frameworks and the diaries of few of the members who had done the project. These are the members of the project. And thank you for selecting us, and thanks for entire jury members. And in this, because of this, we achieved a good rapport with the parents, and the students and parents are feeling too open to call and interact with us. They are inquiring about school reopening also. Here, I would like to share one of the personal experience for me with the 6th class student, Sukanya. Though I could not reach her one day, I conversed with her parents and had a fruitful conversation about her well-being. The very next day at 6 o'clock in the morning, Sukanya called me back, feeling sorry for not attending the other day call. When we saw this kind of motivation from students in these uncertain times, it is making us intrigued and enthusiastic. This is my personal experience. My team is privileged to have tons of these experiences. And thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. I was when I was going through your project, one of the things that stuck me, and I think my team lead, when I was doing a corporate job, would be so happy to see the project goal that you have defined. It's almost a textbook definition of what a SMART goal should look like. It is specific, it is measurable, it is actionable, it is realistic and time-driven. You have clearly defined who needs to be targeted, how it is going to be measured, by what time is it going to be done. And when I was going through all the evidence that was presented there, I was struck by how meticulously it was organized. As you said, and I have been in that position where teachers bombarding students with calls, you put in a framework. I'm very impressed to see this. One question that I had when I was looking at the evidence was there was a comment about a student going for machine work. I'm assuming that's manual labor, and somebody going to private class. So I am sure, because you said there were only about 7 students who got left out. So was there something that could have been done for these kind of students? I'm sure there are many like this.
Yes, sir. Sir, most of the students, when the teachers call, they are telling that few of the students, they are going to work along with the parents, because the parents are not feeling protected to leave them in the house. And we told that in the village, we are having to be at one place and see the WhatsApp classes, so that the parents also will not feel afraid of leaving them single at home. And we guided them like that and continued the WhatsApp classes so that they will not go to work and follow the education.
Great. And did you face any challenges with regards to, because I saw some comments about not having WhatsApp. So technologically, I work in slum schools in Hyderabad, so I have faced a lot of this where the parents say they don't have enough money to recharge, they don't have smartphones. Did you face any of it, and how did you overcome that?
Yes, sir. The students who had no WhatsApp group, they used to tell, ma'am, we are not about having WhatsApp group, and the parent also feel very sorry. Few of the parents, after 1 month, they immediately got the WhatsApp cell. They bought the WhatsApp, the cells which have able to do WhatsApp in it. But few of the students who are not in, what we did was, we asked, whatever the work you are doing that day, and whatever the learning you have done, you have prepared a tea for your mother, or you have done some other work, you put it on a paper in English, Telugu or Hindi, and you give it through WhatsApp of other cells to the class teacher, so that we'll do that work, we'll see that work, and we'll talk to you later on this. We encourage it like that, and we told that the parent see that the children will be attached to at least neighborhood cell for just half an hour or that, so that they can learn the write out the work given in that group.
Great, great. One last question, ma'am. I think this is something that Monisha ma'am asked. It's the same question I have. I mean, do you foresee, because it has been extremely meticulously designed, the way you're tracking each and every student and you're tracking it subject-wise. I can imagine the amount of work that is done. This is complete attention to detail, and I love attention to detail. Is this something that can be given to other schools? Can more schools adopt this? Have you given, showcased this thing to other people as well in your?
Yes, sir. This can be definitely used by all, because the environment and the association of all the team with the students and parents brings a lot of change. If we can give freedom and love and trigger their attention, then they can do a lot of things. Here I want to quote one simple example, sir. Generally at 11 o'clock, we'll give chickies to our students. And the chicky wrapper will be thrown everywhere or in the dustbin, and we're getting a lot of scrap. One day I announced in the assembly, this is the problem. Let us store that scrap, and you all think of what to do with that scrap. We don't throw that scrap for 1 week. You keep it. The leaders will keep it in the classroom. After study hours, you think of it and do a useful work for that. Everyone think, I told sir. And the next 1 week, I was bombarded with many models, sir. They prepare garlands, they prepare shoes, they prepare umbrella, frock, they prepare they prepare many toys also with the wrappers, sir. And I was amazed to see all that. Just I told my problem to them. This was the very big problem. And the waste papers, sir, they prepared baskets with the papers they turned up. And they utilized all the scraps, sir. Just I thought, if we trigger them and if we discuss them, give freedom, everything is possible with all the stakeholders, sir.
I'm amazed, and this is the story across the board. I think it's only a matter of making the students think and giving them opportunities to showcase their talents and putting their ideas to work.
Yes,
thank you
sir.
so much, ma'am, for coming and spending
Thank you,
time.
sir.
And congratulations to your entire team and yourself for delivering such phenomenal results. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
Ajit
you
sir.
all.
Thank you, Shanti ma'am, for that beautiful
Thank you.
project that you have put together. And I think you very confidently answered many questions that were posed to you. It was very nice to see you, to hear you. Okay. We'll go to the next part of the next award, Andy. Yeah, the next winner is. I would like to request Veena ma'am to announce the next winner. Veena ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Vinay. So in this time when children are not able to attend schools, we are hoping that technology can bridge the gap. But what happens if there's no access to digital devices or internet? That in itself can become a bigger challenge. One project here details a creative strategy with a holistic approach to that problem. More importantly, it underlines empathy. It gives me great pleasure to announce Meet and Teach as one of the top 5 innovations this year. This project has been implemented by APRI's Narsapura. Congratulations to members of this team, and their objective, as they have put down, is to provide education and continuity of academics to the rural children deprived of inaccessibility to the digital platforms amid pandemic. First of all, congratulations again. Is anybody from the team available to talk about your idea of how you went about this project?
Thanks to entire jury members, honorable secretaries, entire Mantra team. A pleasant morning to all the dignitaries. I am Uma Devi Talluru, school leader, Balayogi Gurukulam, Narsapuram, Krishna district. I deem it as my privilege to explain about our project, that is Meet and Teach. Vision of our project is to provide education and continuity of academics to the rural children deprived of accessibility to the digital devices amid pandemic. Thought of the project crossed our minds when we came to know certain section of students have no access to the smartphones which are essential for digital learning. Hence, we came up with this project. Our project stakeholders are principal, teachers, students, parents, local people, and local authorities also. We discussed and shared ideas about the project with our teachers. We collected data, explored the villages. I also went to the villages, talked with parents, students, and local authorities. And we allotted student volunteers in their residing villages, allotted teachers to some villages, ensuring the project is going well. Our project Meet and Teach is an unforgettable experience. Parents received teachers with their warm greetings and gave a lot of support and strength to us. They felt very happy and free from worries regarding the continuity of academics. Students received their teachers heartfully, and they were very happy to seeing their teachers at their villages after a long gap. They showed their interest towards their studies also. Our teachers showed much more interest to spend their time with our beloved children. Our intention is to outreach the deprived. Hope our project gives these children a good support to continue education without break in this pandemic situation. And here my sincere thanks to our honorable secretaries. They always support us in every walk of our work, and the entire Mantra team, and my sincere and heartfelt thanks to my entire team. They helped me, and they are the heart to our project. And I am very, very humbled. And we even created awareness about hygiene in the villages also. And I'm very, very happy to share this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for detailing that. And congratulations once again. It's amazing to see how you've thought about bringing together people as resources. You've also talked about how you've wanted to bring in student volunteers to teach the lower grades. So much of peer learning that is available there. Any challenges in that, ma'am, that you would like?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Though transport and communication become a challenge initially, and data collection is the crucial challenge in project, as well as time taking also, ma'am. And also identification of the beneficiaries of the project is another challenge. And there are minor challenges on gathering students and finding location for the project to take up. These are minor challenges, ma'am.
So much for sharing that. I'm sure we would all like to hear more. And I'm sure we will in coming days. But thank you so much, and thank
you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Vinay?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, Veena ma'am, for announcing this award. And thank you so much, Uma Devi ma'am, and the entire Narsapuram school for making this possible. Yeah. Yes, thank you so much for that. I would like to move on to the next aspect, Andy. We still would love to hear from all the winners a little more, but in the interest of time, we want to go to the last part of the program. I would like to request Ravichandra sir to deliver his congratulatory speech to all of them. As we all know, Ravichandra sir cleared his engineering from JNTU Kakinada, and then sir is there. Sir is from 1996 batch, and he has served as collector for various districts of Andhra Pradesh. He has headed Health Department, Finance Department, and sir is with us heading Department of Social Welfare from more than a year. So, Ravichandra sir, over to you.
Thank you, Vinay, for that nice introduction. It's been a very, very nice afternoon or morning or whatever we call it. The amount of emotion, the amount of passion, the amount of compassion and the energy shown by our school leaders is amazing. And I'm sure the remaining projects, about 150 of them, are equally good, maybe a little that side, this side. But definitely, I congratulate all the school leaders for the amount of involvement they have taken up in these times. First, I would like to thank Mantra for taking up this activity in a government institution. We have been participating in many innovative programs organized by Niti Aayog and others. And I thought our secretary, Ramlu Garu, will be there and he would roll out the figures of whatever we have been able to achieve in the last 1 year after the Atal Tinkering Labs have come. And to the best of my knowledge, I will not be able to give because he is a man on the field. I will not be able to give exact figures, but I'm sure out of the top 50 projects that were selected in India across the private and government schools, 5 belong to Andhra Pradesh, and all 5 came out from the AP Social Welfare Residential Educational Society. About 25 kids were selected for innovations again at all India level, and they were sponsored to go for about 15 days to US, Russia. And where they met Mr. Putin and all many successful people in the field of science. And two happened to be from Andhra Pradesh, and both happened to be from our school, from our residential educational society. So there are many more things which these children, given an opportunity, they have scaled. About a few of them have scaled Mount Everest as if they are just going up a mount of hill. And they have exhibited extraordinary skill given the opportunity and the exposure. Now that so many have come around to help these poor kids, and with increased collaboration with various corporates, I hope the life of these children would be far more better. I thank Manoj Maheshwari ji, Anurag Pratap ji, Nirupama ma'am, Kritika Radhakrishnan madam for having a very, very deep insight into very, very fundamental things and the many changes that are happening to the society and the need of the future generations, and the possibilities of collaborating with government and private sector. Thank you very much. Those talks have been very enriching, and I hope our people have noted. I have noted a few of them. Collectively, probably we can join our notes and then see how best we can collaborate for the common good of everybody. Congratulations to the 5 teams, that is from Newsweed, Pathapatnam, Uppalapadu, Talapalam, and Narsapur. It was really refreshing. And more refreshing was the quality of answers you have given to the questions raised by the panelists. That shows the depth of your involvement and the control or depth of your knowledge on what you're doing. So that's a very, very positive sign for the entire thing. Now, innovation, as we all know, as Manoj Maheshwari ji pointed out, through decades or centuries of cultivated behavior of only following, somehow it's not that we have not innovated. We have innovated in many ways, but probably we could not take it up. We didn't have the system to scale it up and collect at one place and ensure that the entire globe uses the benefit of these micro innovations. There are many, many micro innovations. Our ATL labs themselves have shown hundreds of them, and many of them have been successfully recognized at Government of India level also, both apart from the state level. So we need to create the right ambience, and given if we are able to create the right ambience, I'm sure our children will work wonders under the able guidance of the school leaders and their gurus and their team. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Team Mantra. Team Mantra has always given so much of energy. If something, we always say one should walk the talk. I cannot hear what you say, but what you are rings loudly in my ears. So Mantra team, apart from what they have communicated verbally, through their actions also they have communicated a lot of things, how to be positive, how to be smiling always. Their smile is almost contagious, and a lot of positivity has come in these difficult COVID times. And we can see it visible in the attitude of all the school leaders, the teachers, and the various groups they have met with. So I thank Team Mantra for their effervescence and so much of enthusiasm and extraordinary effort to put everything together and bring so many people together. Even they have collaborated with an Australian university to bring English language here. So thank you so much to you. You have done, I can't quantify the amount of benefit you have done to the lives of these poor children. And I'm sure the residential society has been enriched by your contribution, and that will translate and benefit many more deserving children, and ultimately the country would benefit as many more would contribute to nation building. Thank you one and all. Vinay, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's really nice to see the way the schools and the students of AP Studies are performing. Your words have been a constant source of motivation and inspiration for all of us. The way in which you supported different stakeholders in the department and also the collaboration you bring in is commendable. Thanks for taking out the time today to congratulate the winners, sir. Before we close for the day, I now invite Deepthi from Team Mantra to share with us the various initiatives that Mantra has planned for the society in the upcoming months and also to deliver the vote of thanks. Deepthi, please take it forward.
Thank you, Dhyanesh. Honorable Secretary, sir, our most valued guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to express gratitude to each and every one of you present in this virtual award ceremony. It's a big day for the collaboration between Mantra and AP Swaris. In this short span of time, we've had the privilege of seeing innovations blooming and taking shape across many schools. I would like to take a moment here to give a glimpse into what is in store for this partnership. This competition has definitely shown that AP Swaris is a hotbed of innovations. We would like to take that up one notch higher by working with the department to co-create a school scorecard that would allow all the schools to undertake assessments and obtain individualized school scorecards, which they can then use to plan innovative projects according to the needs of their respective schools. And this can happen in all domains of school improvement. We've also had the wonderful opportunity to be part of this family, and we would like to leverage its potential to create professional learning communities for the teachers and school leaders led by in-house facilitators. These communities will come together on a recurring basis and build expertise in specific areas like virtual learning, improving infrastructure, etc. We've seen a trailer of this during the earlier trainings, and I'm sure the best is yet to come. In these troubled times, a major challenge has been ensuring continuity in student learning. We will be working along with the teachers from all of the schools to help engage students in project-based learning in collaboration with Education Above All, a Qatar-based organization. We're extremely excited about the way ahead with the department, and we hope to share the success stories and learnings from these initiatives very soon. As you can see, this indeed is a beginning. So this is a great honor to express my gratitude to everyone who contributed to making this event a resounding success. First of all, I would like to express my hearty vote of thanks to Mr. Manoj Maheshwari for gracing this function. His keynote address was quite thoughtful. Thank you, sir. We've had two distinguished speakers on our panel today, Mr. Kumar Anurag Pratap, Head of CSR Capgemini, and Ms. Nirupama Guruprasad, Head of Wells Fargo India. We really appreciate the meaningful insights on supporting innovation in schools and classrooms. I would also like to thank Ms. Kritika, the COO of NetApp, for moderating the discussion so well and making it engaging and meaningful for all of us. A lot of hard work has gone into identifying the top 5 innovators from all of the entries, and the support provided by our jury has been incredible. My heartfelt thanks to Mrs. Reena Sagar, Mr. Praveen Kumar Naidu, Ms. Poona Mukesh, and Ms. Monisha Datta for helping us choose the best and gracing the occasion with your presence. We would also like to express our gratitude to Colonel Ramlu sir and Sri Mudada Ravichandra sir for always finding time within your busy schedule to support the interventions that we've done so far. And it has been such a great joy to work so closely with the department on all of these initiatives. We would like to extend our appreciation to all the winners and participants for the effort they've put into planning and implementing the micro innovations. We're all here to celebrate each and every one of you. As we speak, there are many school leaders, teachers, and other members of the society who are watching us live. We are so happy to have all of you joining us on this occasion. Once again, I thank everyone for your cordial cooperation. Looking forward to the journey ahead.
Thank you, Deepthi. This brings us to the end of the session. Before we disperse for the weekend, we would like to thank the entire team from AP Swaris and Mantra for making this possible. The last month has given us hundreds of innovations from the school leaders at AP Swaris that can be spread out to the larger ecosystem. To make this possible, we're also documenting micro innovation as a case study that will be available for everyone to take a look at the incredible work done by the schools. The first look into the first page of the case study can be seen on the screen right now. The report will be made available on the public domain for everyone to view shortly. A big thank you to all the audiences for being with us today to celebrate innovation. Hope you had a great time and are leaving inspired. This is Dhyanesh
and Vinay
signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.